Hello and welcome to the Tournament Poker Project. All the way from Essex, my name's John.
And I'm Tane.
And we are on our learning journey to poker greatness. And this is just a little step in that journey, isn't it, Tane?
It is. It's trying to hone them skills down to the bare essentials and the simplest points and making money with them.
That's it. I don't know what that means, but it sounded on point. So we're going to launch straight into a hand today. So this is a hand coming from our very own Tane. Tane, do you want to talk us through the hand we've got up here?
We can, yes. So this is I'm pretty sure it was an 9-person sit and go. I think it was a $10 game. We're down to the final 4, so we are bubbling. I'm on 60 big blinds. There's a villain in the small blinds, also 67 big blinds. We're the 2 big stacks, and then we've got someone sitting under the gun or low jack, wherever you want to go, with about 29 big blinds. And then there's the piddly short stack that everyone wants to go out, sitting on the big blind, and they've only got 9 big blinds plus what they've put into the pot already. So everyone's looking at them thinking, hurry up, mate.
It looks like lunch, doesn't he?
It is. I mean, it's only a 9-person sit and go, so it's like min cash and a half. You know what I mean? So it's not exactly big bucks, but it's more than zero. So there is still a bit of ICM bubbling to go on, even though we're not poor people. So ICM is not as important.
Right, gotcha. Okay.
Not the Fletcher there. So comes round, and we are on the button. As I said, we're the big stack. Queen Jack offsuit. What's your initial thoughts?
So does the what happens before us? Does the under the gun fold?
Oh yeah, they do.
He folds. So Queen Jack, it just seems like a no-brainer open to me. Size, I don't know, four-handed. Usually, like if there's more people at the table, I would bet probably more like 2.5. 2.6 times the big blind from the button position. But I don't know if that still applies when you're four-handed. And then you've got a big blind there that's so small, like small stacks anyway. He's either going to jam it or not, probably. So maybe you just you can bet 2.2 or something.
Are you happy to call a jam? Is what in this exact spot, and I remember this very clearly. My query to myself was, am I calling a jam, and would I rather be calling a jam that they've initiated or a jam that I've initiated? So for instance, if I bet 4 big blinds to try to discourage the small blind, who's also a big stack, from coming along, and then I get shoved over the top, that's actually quite a strong move from the small blinds. Because they've not got very much equity.
I think it'd probably be priced in by then. The pot would be so large, you'd only need to put in like another 5 big blinds or something. So,
and this is it. So if I make it too big, I'm putting myself in a position where I'm gonna have to call. But the small blind has every opportunity to fold out their crap and still shove with the stronger part of their range. And I've not got an awful lot of maneuverability.
So probably bet maybe, but I think you can still bet like 2.5 big blinds. I think the small blind's going to get out your way, knowing that the big blind might shove, unless, like you say, he's got, a really playable hand, and then he's going to let you know about it.
Yeah. So my theory is, exactly as you said. If I bet, I'm not going to limp because that's asking for trouble. So if I bet close to minimum, and then I did get shoved on, I can call that, knowing it's going to have a much wider range, and my Queen Jack's going to stand up at least to the odds that I'll be getting. So small bet, hopefully the small blinds scarpers, and then I'll call what should be an inevitable shove.
Okay,
feel good at the moment.
Yes, it feels good, mate. Let's Let's do it. So, 3.1 big blind bet. Happy with that?
Bit too big for me. Like now,
Yeah.
looking back, I was trying to discourage the small blind too much, but because I'd already decided that I was going to call a shove anyway, I didn't mind.
It gets
We
it
do get
done, and it makes sure that you're pricing yourself in if the big blind shoves, and it makes sure that the small blind isn't, messing about. If he's I feel like the small blind will be less likely to try and bluff you off with a free bet, with weaker holdings when you've gone that much bigger on the bet size. I don't know, probably though.
This is the next question. Does the big blind have a calling range?
So you'd have to put in 2.1 big blinds. What's his end value there? About 3.7 or something.
It'll leave him with a stack to pot ratio of exactly 1, maybe even less than that, and next to no fold equity regardless of flop against an almighty big stack.
I don't know if this is GTO, but if I was in the big blind's shoes, for me it's fit or fold. I'd either be jamming all in at this point or folding.
Yeah, it's exactly what I thought. So I was a bit baffled when I did just get a call.
Seemed a bit passive. Okay. Yeah, I don't really like that play.
From my feeling on that is capped his range or her range of pretty much any ace, pretty much most pocket pairs, anything with even remote value. Like I'm looking at them
with any ace, because I think he could be doing that with kind of raggy aces. That's possibly. If you're gonna flat call when really you should be jamming or folding, then you're capable of making that mistake. The types of hands you're probably doing that with as that type of player making that type of mistake is going to be stuff that he doesn't feel confident enough to jam with, but they're not weak enough to throw away. Do you know what I mean? He's just playing his hand almost face up. It feels like I might have like king 10 or king 9 or ace 4, ace 5, ace 6, or even up to like, I don't know, ace 9. You'd hope he's jamming, but if he's making this mistake anyway with this stack depth, I mean, he's put in 3 big blinds and he's got 7 behind. It's less
than one SPR.
It's 1. I mean, if he hits bottom pair, he's got a, I don't know, can he fold that? It's like, exactly. What do you do? He's making it tough for himself.
So, but it's definitely capped their range. It might be that I've learnt to play more aggressive. Like I'd be shoving every ace without a blink. But then you're exactly right. This isn't that player. The fact that they've called in the first place shows that they're not me. So anyway, they do call. They just call. They leave themselves with an SPR less than 1.
The only exception, just before we move on, the only exception I would say is if he's just hit a really strong hand, pocket kings, pocket queens, pocket aces, he could flat call just thinking, well, the SPR is going to be 1. I can then, I'm going to be out of position. I can check, and then, you're going to be c-betting a lot. He might be thinking flat call with, a really big pocket pair, and I'm going to pretty much definitely get some extra chips, because once you c-bet, if you do c-bet, once he jams over the top, your c-bet would be 2.5, 3 big blinds. He'd be almost min raising over the top all in. You'd have to then call. It could be a way of getting all the chips in when he has got a big pocket pair, but that is a possibility, is all I'm saying. I think that it's more likely he's got a middling hand that he doesn't want to fold, but he doesn't want to jam.
No, of course. I mean, if he was the type of player who was thinking enough to be keeping the top of his range in his calling range just for balance and for that kind of trappy reasons, there'd probably be enough of a thinking player to realise that ICM kind of tells me I should be calling any shove. Once I've made that free big blind raise, it's so incumbent on me to knock this player out for what is fairly good pot odds anyway. The jump in 0 to payout for me as the big blind, as the big stack, compels me to call with pretty much any 2 cards.
Yeah.
So just a shoving when you know you're good, rather than waiting for a flop that's going to confuse you. But I do get your point. All the same, we get into the flop, and it is a foxy flop of ace 9 8 all diamonds monotone, and I'm sitting with the Queen of Hearts, Jack of Diamonds.
Okay, so we're a nutty type hand. We're not far away from it. You got a king and a queen of diamonds that he could be holding that beats you, but again, even if he just donk jams, I'm still calling. He's got a pot size bet left. Well, you know, this hand plays itself from this point, really.
Exactly.
We're getting chips in no matter what, aren't we?
Yeah, and he's just checked to me. I mean, there's absolutely no chance I'm giving him a free card. Am I pushing him all in, or am I trying to be cheeky?
So
exploitatively,
just jam. He's not gonna. I mean, what could you possibly bet that he would call fold? You know, if you bet, say, 2 big blinds, would he call that and then fold the turn? Surely not. It'd have to be crazy. There'd be, you put 2 big blinds in, there'd be 11.2 in the pot, and he'd have 5 behind. He'd have like less than half pot left. If you then jammed the turn for his last 5 big blinds, there'd be like 16 big blinds in the pot. I mean, what could he possibly have on this flop that he then folds on the turn, even if he was just chasing a flush draw? You know, then come the turn, it would still be just about worth chucking your chips in.
Well, at this point, I'm looking at my Queen Jack thinking it's got a lot of equity, but I would be playing it as a bluff per se, and I'm targeting all of his King 10s that he might have: King 10, King Jack, King 9. Well, not King 9 per se. Yeah, I don't think he's folding middle pair, but that kind of hand where they're going to be under too much pressure. So if they've not got a diamond in their hand, I'm getting a better hand to fold.
Yeah,
but
I think you've got a bet. Yeah, I totally agree. You've got a bet. It's just how much.
Basically, it's the what do you call it? It's I can do that very efficiently with a small bet. So all the hands that are going to get the money in anyway, my bet size is irrelevant because I'm probably going to call it. It doesn't matter. But them hands that are king high, by betting small, I give him the opportunity to fold a better hand for what is a tiny price, when he should be calling that. Well, he should be jamming with it, to be honest, but he's probably not going to do that. So yeah, small bet is kind of where my reasoning was going.
Yeah, go for it. What's the point in jamming? Well, that's very small. You've gone 1 big blind.
Single big blind, thinking someone with only 7 big blinds, now it's less than 1 SPR of 1. If they haven't got a diamond or an ace, can they really call this? I know it's only 1 big blind.
I mean, with an SPR of such, I think he would have to call if he's got any piece of the board, any diamond. He has to call that. Just to recap for our listeners, so we are on the button, and Villain was in the big blind. Pre-flop, we raised to 3.1 big blinds or 3.2, and the button, the big blind just flat called. We've got the Queen of Hearts, Jack of Diamonds, and the flop came down 3 diamonds, 8, 9, ace. We are now betting. Sorry, Villain's checked, and we are now betting 1 big blind into the pot of 7.2. Villain has just 7 big blinds behind.
So about 15%.
If I was Villain here, and I've got a diamond or a piece of the board, I suppose I could just flat call it all the way down. But your chips are going in surely at some point, all of them.
And again, it's like you're too shallow to be calling for a draw, because you are literally hemorrhaging your chips for bad pot odds. If you've got a piece of the board, you've got an SPR of 1. You shove, unless I'm missing an ICM factor that says that you should do this checky cally, at which point every hand that we gave them credit for was bad. They shouldn't have ever called with a raggy ace. They shouldn't have ever called with middling broadways or a small pocket pair, because ICM put this exact scenario. ICM tells you don't get involved in that, just jam, get your fold equity, pick up the blinds, and then you're happy. So again, I'm putting it on a massive stack.
Now that the villain's in this situation with an SPR of 1, just 7 big blinds behind, if he's got any piece of the board, I don't mind the tactic now of just villain just check calling all the way until all his chips are in. Like, I don't mind that. I feel like that keeps all your bluffs in. So if you are trying to bluff him off cheap, exactly like you are, then just call in from villain isn't a bad idea, because it's keeping your bluffs in. You know your chips are probably going to be all going in anyway. Why not do it when your opponent's got a load of bluffs kept in his range?
Yeah, and he could be letting me off. The thing is, he's helping himself by also letting me off cheap, knowing that I'm probably going to call any shove, which I don't think they've fathomed at this point, but they're actually letting me off lightly as well. But then the weirdest thing happens. He raises it to 3.
He raises it to 3. So hang on, so on the flop, he checks, we bet 1 big blind, he raises to 3 big blinds. Wow, repops it.
Check raises, but not shove.
I mean, it feels very strong. Like, I mean, I don't know. I think it feels strong on it against any normal player, but maybe I'm putting too much weight in on the fact that he's pre-flop action I felt was a bit weak, a bit strange. So now I'm thinking maybe he's just not a very good player, and I don't know, he's trying to bluff you off of this with a free. I mean, it's clever. It could be clever, I suppose, if he is bluffing. If he thinks you're bluffing and now he's bluffing with nearly half his stack. I mean, it's almost like I don't care. Like, whatever you've got, I'm calling you down.
So I was a bit baffled. The only thing I could have imagined it was a weak, as you said, like they're just so scared to get the rest of their chips in. They just like, I want to win this hand. Like, I just want to take it down there, but I'm not confident enough to get my stack in because my hand's not good enough. You know what I mean? I've got king 9, something like that, a raggy ace. I've got something that's really vulnerable to this horrible flop. And they haven't clocked that, the pot's now 11. Like, there is absolutely nothing I'm folding them other 4 big blinds to. Like, it's especially I've got the jack flush draw. I've got the gut shots straight draw now. I mean, there's just a lot on that board, and I might even be good having not improved. Like, you never know, they might be doing this with like jack 10. That kind of thing without a diamond. It just felt either the nuts, and if I was going to call anyway, I don't care if I'm running into the nuts, or a week. Just a week. Please let this hand end. I'm too scared to see another card.
It could be. Yeah.
So my reasoning was put them under pressure for the last of their chips, like make them really regret the choices. So I did.
What did you do? You jammed it. See, jam.
Yeah. I deliberately put all 58 big blinds in just to try to make it look bigger than it really was.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, look, he's not going to fold anyway. It's almost like, well, I mean, you never know, mate. If this is an out-and-out bluff and he's doing this with complete air, and it was just a desperate attempt to get the hand over with, he thought, well, you've done such a small bet, I'm going to think that's a weak bluff. I'm going to do a bluff by just putting in a couple of extra big blinds on top and make it look like I'm super strong, that I'm trying to get you to call. That was maybe his last attempt at getting you to fold. But now you've jammed, even if he's got bugger all, look, he's got 4 big blinds left, and there's how many in the pot? 3. Well, it'll be your 7.2. Yeah, I mean, look, you're getting like 4 to 5 to 1 odds, even if he's got like a king high. He probably should just call it anyway. So,
But this is it. Like, he should be calling that, but given his action, like, is he actually going to throw away bottom pair? And then let's not take away from the fact that if he hasn't got a diamond, or if he's only got a pathetic little diamond, the ace high board is massive in my range. Like, I have all the good strong aces.
Yeah, which kind of, I mean, I don't know what he does. What does he do here? Does he call? Yeah,
he does. Yeah,
he calls. So he had to call, didn't he? So
thanks for that.
Yeah, the hands kind of play once you've got an SPR of 1, it just feels like the kind of ins and outs of who puts what in and who calls. It's almost a little bit irrelevant. It's almost like a game of, well, we're going to put all the chips in. And how are we going to do it? All right, I'll bet 1, you bet 3. I'm going to go all in now. It could have been one of you jamming. The other ones are pretty much always going to call. I mean, saying that if he had jammed pre-flop, he could have possibly got, he could have had some fold equity, but
yeah, like it just felt like I haven't played a hand this passively and this tiny maneuverability of tiny raise, this little hedging. I don't know. Everything felt strange. Like, if he wanted to leave my bets in, if he thought he had a strong hand, there was no need for the check raise. I don't know what it possibly was trying to achieve. It certainly weren't a value bet, because you're better off getting that on later streets. If I'm going to call you anyway, then there's no fear of the next card coming, because it's always going to come. You know what I mean? Yeah. Getting your money in now is just losing value. Just wait for the cards. You know what I mean? Like, you might actually have a better decision on a later street. Like that, he might be able to get, if another diamond come, or even another ace come, he might be able to fold. So he's giving himself options. Like, it just achieved nothing other than the inevitable in a bad way for the villain. Anyway.
Okay. What did he have out of interest?
He did have the raggy daggy ace, and I did not hit my straight gut shot. I didn't hit another diamond. So it came another couple of sevens, and Jerry's ace.
So he had ace 5 of diamonds. So he actually had the flush draw as well, but a low one. But he had the ace. He had the ace all along. So yeah, I mean, when it does make sense now. I still feel like he should have probably just jammed that pre-flop. But seeing as he got to the flop in the way that he did, bearing in mind he's holding, I don't hate his play. He's kind of like, right, I've got a really low SPR. I need to get all the chips in one way or another. You've bet 1 big blind. He's then bet 3, making it almost impossible for you to fold to putting 2 more big blinds in. But he had such a small stack, there was not really anything else you could do. So you were both, basically, I feel like you were both, by the flop, you were both just committed almost no matter what you had.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Wicked.
I mean, the hand is how I played it, and I played the hand knowing that there's a good chance I was behind, but with good equity. And I had 10 times his stack almost, so that weren't too much of a worry. So I'm all good. I did indeed catch in that tourney. Cool.
Nice. Okay, well, thanks very much for the hand, Tane. Thanks for our listeners for listening. Any final thoughts before we wrap up, Tane?
No, it's all grand. Enjoyed it.
Lovely. All right, well, take care, and take care to everyone listening in.
Yeah, like and subscribe.